My name is Mansoor, reporting for All Israel News. Dr. Phil just gave it to Mamdani and his wife, and let's just say he did not hold back.
For most Americans, it's nobody's business who you share your bed with. But that changes when you're married to one of the most powerful politicians in America. I'm talking about New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani and his wife, Rama Douaji. Now, being the spouse of the mayor of the largest city in America comes with a certain level of responsibility and scrutiny. And right now, Douaji deserves just a lot of that scrutiny.
Absolutely.
Report from the Jewish Insider, Douaji liked Instagram posts just hours after the October 7th attacks on Israel that celebrated Hamas' assault and pushed anti-Israeli rhetoric. She liked one post claiming the October 7th mass rape was a hoax, and another showing Hamas militants breaking into Israel with tanks.
Let's talk about this for a second. We're talking about a progressive liberal lady from New York who witnesses a terrorist invasion into a country where the terrorists start performing mass families coming and grabbing not only Hamas terrorists but also citizens, grabbing Jewish women and a father and a son and an uncle and a nephew all around celebrating as they are violating these women, and often even chopping off some of their body parts and playing with it and throwing it. There is eyewitnesses for that. There is autopsies that actually prove that. So all of that happened. And she chose to like that post. Now, she knows what is happening. Trust me when I tell you she knows. Because if you know the Arab world like myself and many others, you know exactly what they're going to do to Christians and Jews once they get the upper hand. So she knew what was happening and she chose to like it. Don't let anyone water it down and tell you, oh, it's not really, it was just kind of celebrating the Palestinian cause. No, she knew exactly what was going there and what was happening. And if you didn't know in the first 5 seconds, then trust me, after 1, 2, 3 minutes, we all were there. We all had the smartphones and we were seeing the beheading, the chopping, the murder, the glee in their eyes. So she knew what was going on.
And in case anyone has forgotten, on October 7th, Hamas terrorists murdered over 1,200 people and took more than 250 hostages. It doesn't matter how strongly someone supports the Palestinian cause. Anyone who likes what happened on October 7th is not standing for human rights.
Nope.
They're standing with terror. Mayor Mamdani defended his wife, saying,
my wife is the love of my life, and she's also a private person who has held no formal position on my campaign or in my city hall.
But let's get real and talk about the real story. When you're the spouse of the mayor of the largest city in America and you're supporting the murder of hundreds of innocent Jews, trust me, that's not private. That's public. And Mayor Mamdani, hear this clearly. When terror is excused, silence isn't neutrality.
Wow.
It's complicity.
Powerful.
And that's the real story.
Powerful. Dr. Phil, God bless this man, just really gave it to him. And here you go, New Yorkers. Here you go. That's the mayor you've elected, so don't be surprised when things start turning worse. We've been telling you for a very long time, and things will get worse for you because there's nothing innocent about Mamdani and his family and his campaign. It's a pure-on anti-Semitic, pro-Muslim jihadist campaign that is Muslim Brotherhood in Taqiyya. And it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. You're going to start seeing more and more like the IED incident that happened with the 2 New Yorker teenagers who went and threw an IED bomb at some Christians in a rally. And I mean, what do you expect? Like, there's so much evidence around the world that shows you that whenever Islam becomes prominent in your society, things start falling down and terrorism start rising up, and human rights, women's rights, gay rights all start flying out of the window immediately, and they will take everything they can to abuse your weaknesses and use them against you. And if that means human rights activism and all kind of rights, they will play that victim card to bring down your guards so they can destroy your society from within, not because they they don't see it as they want to destroy your society. They see it as they want their society to prosperous. And for their society, the Muslim ideology, to become dominant and prosperous, it means that democracy need to collapse. It means that Christianity need to be erased. It means that Judaism and Christianity actually need to be either erased or tamed, enslaved, and any other ideology need to be exterminated. That is proper Quran for you. Go and read it for once in your life if you haven't got the memo. It doesn't leave a place for other religions, and it doesn't leave a place for other ideologies. Definitely, if you're not Jewish or Christians, then forget about it. And if you're Jewish or Christians, you can live in a status of basically second, third class citizens, borderline slave, until you give up and you say, like, it's too much for me, and then you just convert. Either you or your children, once they see their parents constantly being humiliated in society and losing a lot of opportunities in life, then your children might come and say, this is not worth it, let's just convert and join this totalitarian religion. Very extreme one. So either way, guys, wake up. Mamdani and everything that is happening in New York is very, very dangerous. And it's just shocking that it's happening in the biggest city in the United States and the one that actually experienced 9/11. It's baffling. But then again, you know what? Let me show you a video why I think it happened in New York. Let me show you a video. It might surprise you.
So is it Jewish people or the Zionists, or what say Jew?
We're here in London, undercover. At
Now, this is in London, but it does give you a good glimpse of what happened in New York.
Sit back, we're going to have the same situation, like, sorry to say it, but like what happened with Hitler.
When did you guys like start supporting this movement and come out to the
Liberal
streets for
white
this?
When the
chicks.
Hamas, 2020.
When they invaded.
Once Hamas finally stood up, finally massacred the people, finally went in there, killed, we're not.
Agree with with terrorism.
When I saw them stand up and go into Israel, right, and take those young women back into Gaza as a stance of resistance, I knew that's when I was like, I need to get involved and do something.
me
If
too.
they're so desperate that they would take a girl back into Gaza and parade that on the streets, they need help.
Look at the difference between the Israeli hostages that were released. They're
Right.
healthy, well-fed.
Right.
You know who looked really healthy? The Bebas boys. When they were returned in caskets, and then they went and started
They did a
looking
funeral for them.
at their dead bodies, and then they examined the dead kids' bodies, and they're like, oh, they're fine. And then you look at the Palestinians in buses, alive. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Look how they're nodding.
Made up, yeah.
Victims that have come forward and said, I was raped.
Right. Besides all the Israeli women that came forward and said that I was sexually harassed, there's nobody, and it's like, why are we gonna believe some Zionists?
Yeah.
When you start hearing that Palestine was called Judea?
I saw that in history books. When we studied at
You
Berkeley,
were by who?
who was it?
Jewish people, yeah?
Potentially.
You're saying it's Jewish propaganda.
Oh.
Yeah.
So is it Jewish people or the Zionists, or what say Jew?
That's
Guys.
And then who snitched on Jesus?
But I don't
Who was it? You know who it was?
We usually do at Berkeley is we have like a little huddle prayer circle. You
God.
guys know pinkies for Palestine? Throw your pinkies up. Throw your
Yeah, I
pinkies
think
up.
it's for Palestine.
Okay.
Let's do it.
We put an end to the evil Jewish Zionist regime, and we stand together in solidarity. Can I get an amen to that?
Amen.
Now, can I get an amen to this?
Amen, guys.
For Palestine.
For Palestine.
For Palestine.
Liberal white chicks have always been one of the easiest targets for radical jihad. I'm not making this up. This is actually something that was known in Israel for a very long time, and that's why in the Israeli airport, often if you are a white chick, mostly from Europe, but any other liberal country, and you're single and you're in the ages between, let's say, 18 to like 30, you would be considered one of the biggest opportunities for radical Islamist terrorists to fool you and to trick you into becoming a useful idiot, and in some cases even to become an agent of terrorism unknowingly on their behalf. So in the airport, they were instructed to go and ask these white chicks more questions because they just know how easily they are manipulated. Now, what happened when this starts going in a grand scale, like in New York City? Then you end up having a Muslim jihadist mayor. Full-on Muslim Brotherhood. Nothing about him says otherwise. His wife, his family, his background, his teachings, the imam that he followed, everything, the friends that he have in his campaign, his former friends, they're all radical Muslim jihadists and Muslim Brotherhood. And their biggest voters were actually New Yorker liberal white chicks. Now you know why. They're literally the easiest target to be manipulated. Here you go.